Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And a very pleasant good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the hottest spot in town. This is Sunshine, and we've got a show lined up for you today. Now, today we're going to be doing something special, something deeper, something that we need to step into and have a conversation about more often, I believe. We need to be honest with ourselves. It's about healing. It's about true reflections. Because every one of us, we got a journey. And in that journey of faith, of purpose, of growth, and sometimes it's even pain, we've got to be the one to take that step. And when we take a moment to pause, to really look within, we discover the lessons that shapes us, the moments that changed us, and the purpose that's keeping us going forward. So I want you to sit back today and realize something about yourself. Get your coffee and just get ready. So today we're gonna be pulling back the layers. We're asking the kinds of questions that reveal not just, where you are, but what are you becoming? I want you to think about that. This is a place for truth, a space for transparency, a space for healing, and that takes you to hope. So sit back, settle back, get your coffee, lean in, and let's open up your heart today. Because my guest, the conversation that we're going to have today, it is going to take us to where we need to be. It's just a shift of something in you. And this is something I think that we as a people, myself inclusive, have always somewhat had to shield that. And I'm so glad to have with me Terri Marshall.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome into the hottest spot in town where we have conversations that just help people. And I want people to understand something. You are a therapist.
Yes, ma'am.
You help people with all the things that we're talking about, that we can take this next step, because I think, and I'll say this, Terri, in our community, we sometimes don't want to go get the help.
Absolutely.
And we think that if we go seek help from a therapist, that something is wrong.
Yes.
The wrong answer is, if you don't go, something is wrong. I mean,
absolutely.
Do you feel that in our community? Especially?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a stigma, a negative stigma as it relates to going to therapy.
Right.
It is a stigma that I can say that a lot of people have, especially like our older generation. If you want to speak when it comes down to our community specifically, there is a huge stigma when it comes down to therapy, because we're not a very trusting community, because with reason.
Exactly.
There's a lot of generational trauma that is taking place in our community. There are a lot of times where we've been experimented on, just by way of advancements for the medical community, whether it be through like the actual medical community as far as your body, or when it comes down to the community as far as your mental health as well. We've always been the ones that were experimented on for what was classified as the furtherance of the field.
Exactly.
So there is a lot of mistrust. And like I said, it is with reason. Even today, you'll see that when it comes down to our community, especially Black women, when it comes down to even medical care, we're not always heard. We're dismissed more by doctors. Wow. When it comes down to things that are wrong with us and we're complaining and just saying, hey, I need help, there's something, it's very much dismissed, it's discarded, and we're made to feel like we're crazy. Right. You've actually had multiple deaths of Black women as well, because of the fact that our illnesses are not being taken seriously. So,
when you said that women, I know that it's difficult with men, because I've always said, it's hard to get a man to go to the doctor.
Absolutely.
But with the fact that the point that you made, that with the stigma that's there, that the causes that we don't have, that are not given to us as others.
Absolutely.
And that causes that big time.
Yeah. Diagnosing, to be able to diagnose and then take our symptoms serious. Right. But then I am going to say to you, like right now, I'm trying to start developing a community network system within my field. Okay. And the reason why is because, just like we talked about from the medical perspective of it, you are also having people that are being misdiagnosed as well in the therapy field as well.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
You definitely have a lot of misdiagnoses when it comes, with mental health. There are things that are told that we have that we do not have. And just being able, and a lot of it is this culture. If you don't understand a person's culture, if you don't understand,
I agree.
When you're diagnosing and when you're getting a history of someone, you have to be able to take all of that history into consideration.
That's right.
What that person has gone through, and that does not always span from culture to culture.
No, it doesn't.
Certain things are specific to certain cultures that needs to be aware of as assessments are being done.
Exactly.
And if you're not culturally sensitive or have the cultural competency to be able to do that, then guess who goes lacking?
That's right. I agree 100%. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I tell you every single day, it's always good to find somebody because that you can trust.
Absolutely.
And I was in a meeting yesterday and I told the people, I said, well, if it's a person that looks like me,
absolutely,
then it's going to make me feel better.
Absolutely.
That I can really open up to that person to
Absolutely.
the advantages that would be for me because of the fact that things that have happened that have taken that trust away.
You're absolutely right. What I love is there's a site, it's called Psychology Today.
Okay.
And that's where you're going to have like the majority of your psychotherapists have joined this particular site.
Okay.
The great thing about the site, and let me say this, I always advocate to say advocate for yourself.
Exactly.
I'm always encouraging people to advocate for yourself, but I'm also encouraging people to understand what it is that you need. So if you go to Psychology Today, you're able to say, hey, I would like this particular type of psychotherapist. You might say a male, you might say a female, you might say, I want someone that looks like me.
Exactly.
And guess what?
What?
They have all of these filters that allow you to adjust the filters to accommodate your needs.
Okay.
We're at a time now, we no longer have to sit by and to accept whatever's given to us.
Absolutely.
We have that power.
Yes, we do.
We just have to utilize it.
Exactly.
So you can go there and you can put in your specifications to be able to find and to locate, an array of therapists that's within the confines of your specifications.
Exactly.
Okay? And then I always say most therapists offers a 15-minute free consultation. Take advantage of that.
Okay.
Take advantage of that. Because when you do that, this is your opportunity. Now let me say this to you. A lot of times, let's just use jobs as an example.
Okay.
We feel like when you go on a job interview, and when you're doing your interview, most people have the mindset that this employer is interviewing me to see will I be a right fit for the job.
Right.
Am I correct?
That's right.
One thing that a lot of people neglect to understand, howbeit that is true, that is also an opportunity for you to decide if they are a good fit for you as well.
Absolutely.
So that's the thing about it. So let's just say if you say that I want a female therapist that is African American, but now out of that I have 20 different options. Utilize your 15-minute consultations. Talk with them. Allow that 15 minutes to give you the confidence of knowing that you have chosen the therapist that you felt so comfortable with that you want to be a part of your healing journey.
Most certainly.
Because guess what is the number one reason for a healthy healing journey is the therapeutic client relationship.
Oh wow! You really, that's confirmation. There's a young lady that I was speaking with, and she did verbalize that to me. She said, "No, Sonshine, I had to go through 5 therapists
Absolutely.
until I found my right fit."
Absolutely.
And she said, "I tried this one, but it didn't work." Then I went to that one, but she said, "But where I am now, I'm able to just allow everything to come out."
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's confirmation. So therefore, what we're saying to you today, I did not realize this about the 15 minutes free.
Yes.
So listen, when I was scrolling through, especially last night when I was going through it, and I noticed so many, everything is there because the question that I ask, that you've got the opportunity right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me say something else that I think is of very much importance as it relates to the mental health field. So when it comes down to the medical field, we know that when you're dealing with your primary doctor, depending on what part of your body has an ailment, you're now going to be referred to a specialist.
Right.
So if I have heart problems, I'm going to go to a cardiologist.
Exactly.
If I'm a female and have female problems, I'm going to go to an OBGYN.
That's right.
If I have feet problems, I'm going to go to a podiatrist. So depending on the area of specialty, that's where you're going to go in order to get that help.
Okay.
We don't realize that also translates the same in mental health. Everybody cannot handle your issue. So for instance, I'm a trauma therapist, okay?
Yes, I saw that.
So with me being a trauma therapist, I'm gonna make sure that when it comes down to my modalities, which means my scope of practice is going to include modalities that are going to be best to be able to help my clients.
Right.
So I just finished an IFS training last week. Just did my evaluation this week. That was a training that I started in August through December, and this was my second IFS training.
May I say, what's the IFF?
It's internal family systems, and it's absolutely amazing. It's I can't go too deep, but you would love it, trust me. It's basically dealing with parts. So when we think about ourselves, we think of ourselves as just being one-dimensional. This is Terry, this is Sonshine, we're just one person.
That's right.
That's not true. We are multidimensional. So when we're going through things in life, and let's just say we've gone through a trauma, some type of form of trauma, there are different things that are developed. So we call them parts.
Okay.
And so we all have these different parts inside of us. Some of those are manager parts, which means they're being proactive and helping us to manage our day. But then we have firefighter parts. These are reactive parts. These parts look like a firefighter part can be addictions.
Really?
Because if you really think about it, that's a firefighter part. It's a reactive part. There are certain emotions that are probably too overwhelming, and because of that, those particular parts are going to try to help you to create coping mechanisms in order to help you to deal with the overwhelmingness of those emotions.
Right.
So guess what? Most people that are on drugs or alcohol or have addiction issues, whether it be even sex addiction, guess what? There's something underneath that is masking that it is trying to help them in order, all parts, whether it be manager parts, or whether it be firefighter parts, they all are trying to help. They may not go about it the right way.
Exactly.
But they're trying to help. So with part works, it's great for trauma, but what it does is it teaches the self energy. It teaches you how to identify with those parts to give you answers on your behaviors.
Really?
Why you do what you do. You're able to communicate with those parts. You're able to identify, because even though you have manager and firefighters, they all may have different names to them because they function, differently.
Exactly.
And so I just finished that training, and when I do IFS, like I said, this is my second one, so I've already been using it. It's amazing. I do ART for trauma. And let me say this, most people are so turned off by the word trauma.
Right.
When they think about trauma, when a person comes into my office and say to me, well, I really don't have a lot of trauma. First of all, I'm already kind of thinking within myself.
Yes,
everybody has experienced some form of trauma, whether it be a big T trauma or a little T trauma, okay? So trauma just simply means that there's something that has happened to you that has changed or reshaped how you look at yourself or the world. Everybody has gone through some form of trauma, okay?
Right.
So ART, which is accelerated reprocessing therapy, this is an opportunity where if there's things that you've gone through, especially people with like PTSD, it is a way with this trauma. You identify a scene, something that has happened to you in the past.
That's right.
You may say, I was driving down the street and I got to a stop sign, and within seconds, I was hit from behind, and ever since then, I've been, I haven't been able to sleep. I've been so fearful. Or it could have been I was walking down the street, here, and it was like late at night, and I just thought I was safe, and someone came up behind me and they attacked me, and now, it's very difficult for me to stay at home by myself, because I can't get past it. I continue to relive it.
Wow.
So when you do ART, for that particular example, that would be your scene. And you're able to go back into that scene and recreate it and change the ending. So let me say this to you.
Oh, wow. Listen, I'm being educated today.
Oh my God, I love this field. I love this field. Do you realize that your body cannot determine if the thoughts that you have are real or manufactured?
Really?
So your body is going to respond to whatever you are thinking. So if I've gone through a traumatic event, if I'm getting triggered by that event, it continues to remind me of what I've gone through, my body is going to continue to respond to it the same way as though it's still happening. So I'm reliving the event over and over again, which is typically PTSD. So when you do ART, you get to go back to that event. Some people, they're like, that is very scary because I don't want to relive it. So guess what my response to that? You already are.
Exactly.
You're already reliving it within your mind and within your body constantly, because every time you're triggered by something, it brings it back.
Wow.
But when you do ART, that could be the last time that you have to relive it. And then so you go back to that scene, and the protocol is absolutely just amazing. It's phenomenal. And so you go back to that event, and it allows you to recreate that story, and we are desensitizing you the entire time so that you'll always have the memories of the event,
most certainly,
but you no longer have those things within your body that is causing you to get triggered by it, because all of those things are being desensitized.
Wow.
This field that I am in, it is so amazing. And that's why I am a psychotherapist. I help all people. I love my veterans. I love my veterans. Those are one of the group of people that the populations that I adore working with.
Right.
I tell all veterans come to me because my husband is a veteran.
Exactly.
And so I have such a personal appreciation and respect. And I want to give my veterans the best care that I possibly can.
I understand.
I serve all people. I love every one of my clients, and I try to make sure that they feel that love to even help develop a stronger rapport. But even when it comes down to our community, the African American community, that is also a specialty that is one of mine as well. Because we have so many people that are distrusting in this field.
Absolutely.
But guess what? They're still hurting.
That's right.
They're still in pain.
I agree.
And my thing is this: why suffer if you no longer have to?
I agree.
Why suffer? Even though I know that there's a lot of mistrust, even though I know that there's been a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, but I love the advancements that we're making in this field, because now you don't have to trust people that you don't trust. You're now having more people that look like us that's in this field, to where now complete, or shall I say, relatively complete healing can now start to take place.
Most certainly.
Absolutely.
And
we don't have to
I
suffer.
tell you, she is really, I mean, she is overflowing with knowledge right here. So, but these are things that's going to be able to help you.
Absolutely.
And I want to say, because she's made a couple of statements that when we come back after break,
Absolutely.
okay, that I want to touch, because these are things that I think that we don't even realize
Absolutely.
that we're bringing the light to today. If you would like to be a part of the conversation, as always, I invite you, 850-432-7768. We'll be back with more with Terri Marshall right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Join me, Quint Studer, for Conversations with Quint, as you learn all about kindergarten readiness and what we have to do to get better, with Katie Ballard and Stephanie Montgomery.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness, sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month, during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
At FPL, we plan for storm season all year long. We're strengthening poles to better withstand severe weather. We're clearing lines to improve resiliency, and we're constantly training teams to act at a moment's notice. Because we're always working, always preparing. So when storms do hit, you can count on us. FPL, working for you every single day.
Pensacola, Wagwan mean? What's up in Jamaica? My name is Nash, CEO of Good Vibes Jamaican Grill. Once you see me, you already know this is where the flavor, the vibes, everything is at, right here at 7999 Pensacola Boulevard. If you want oxtail, curry goat, jerk chicken, and so much more, just come right here at Good Vibes. Just come on down and just come enjoy yourself. If you haven't been, you're missing out. And if you're coming, bring your friend, tag a friend or friend.
Join me and Chad Henderson at Conversations with Quint. Chad is the CEO of Catalyst, and he's going to talk about all the great work they're doing in Pensacola, including a new hotel and the plans for OLF 8. Join me with Chad Henderson.
And welcome back to this edition of Sunshine's Corner. We are talking with Terri Marshall. And as you find out, not only, I want to give her more of a title than just a therapist. I mean, you hit some things that I really want to touch because, you know, I've got to apologize to our artists as well. We had talked about we're going to have couples on, but things do happen. And I believe sometimes God sets up things the way he wants it to be first, and then we'll go that way. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever it is. But I want to touch some things in that. When you said a moment ago, because this happens when I see in couples, okay? When you said, and Halle Berry popped in my head. When you said, ooh, no, but remember when she was married to Eric Benet and he had this sex, that was a problem, right? And then later on found out these are things like that deal in marriages today.
Absolutely.
And when you find things out like that, Terri, what is it when you said there's an underlying something on the inside that causes that addiction
absolutely
to surface? Even if you're in a marriage, if there's a relationship that you're building, things like that type of addiction, or if it's drinking,
absolutely,
all those things are so important. But what the underlying, when you dig and find that problem, my question is, what kind of problem it could be to have you to have a sex addiction? And if you've got a wife or a partner, what is it that you're covering, you think, that will make that's not enough? Or is there something in your head that's telling you that's not enough, or you just want to go out there straight? What in those type areas?
Well, let's kind of look at it a little bit different.
Okay.
Let's kind of, I don't want to take anything away from it, but I don't want to make it larger. And what do I mean by that? Let's just say, because I don't want it, you know how kind of like in the church how we say the big sins and the little sins? So that's what I'm trying to stay away from. Because it's another coping mechanism. It's another coping mechanism. You have people that have an addiction to shopping.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You have a person that has an addiction to food. You have a person that, you know, there's all of these things, but it's a coping mechanism to help you to deal with something that is definitely more internalized, that you have not really come to terms with or healed from.
Okay.
So what we have to understand is, when we don't choose healing, okay, then that means we typically, and even if it's subconsciously, we typically find other ways of being able to mask the problem as well as cope with the problem.
Okay.
And these can be things that have happened in our childhood that we have never dealt with. And so when you think about people, we think that because we're adults now, I'm an adult, I'm making my own decisions, I'm doing what I want to do. But we're not understanding that a lot of the behaviors that we see manifest in adulthood have come from our childhood. And I always say that we are a walking manifestation of our childhood.
I agree there.
So even though we feel like we're an adults and I'm now doing my own thing, as Janet would say, I'm in control.
There you go.
Your trauma is very much in control.
Okay.
And it's helping to it's helping you to make certain decisions that you made. And we feel like that's, you know, it's funny to me because one of the things that I'm doing with a lot of my clients is helping them to identify the difference between what is me, what is my personality, opposed to what is my trauma. And
what's my personality?
Who am I opposed to what happened to me? Who am I? That person, who am I opposed to what was done to me, what happened to me,
that
how
caused
I
me to be that person.
But is that really me though? Is that really me, or is that what I've had to become just to survive what happened to me?
Oh, wow.
And those are the questions that we have to ask. Those are the questions. And what we do is we answer those questions. We go deep into therapy and we start to, I love therapy because therapy is a journey of self. Therapy is such a journey of discovery. It's a way of now getting to know yourself. I used to say something, as embarrassing as it is, I used to tell everybody I major and minor in Joe Marshall, my husband. I would tell everybody that. I would tell everybody that. And one day I had an epiphany. Have you majored and minored in Terri?
Oh, beautiful. I hear you.
I had to ask myself that. I have always, I prayed, let me tell you this, for a husband.
Right.
I prayed for a home, I prayed for a daughter. And I was so grateful that God answered my prayers, that in everything I tried to do, I tried to make sure that I constantly displayed my gratitude with it, you know, for my spouse, for my home, for my child, and and even the love that I've always had for them, for it to truly reflect that gratitude.
Of course.
But because I put so much emphasis, I had to eventually ask me, what have I put here in this particular vessel?
Okay.
You know, and so that's what therapy does. Therapy allows you to still have that ability to reach out to others and to be what you need to be for others.
I understand.
But
totally.
it also allows you to know and let you know it's okay for you to be there for yourself as well.
Wonderful. We got a caller. Somebody want to ask you something, want to say something to you this morning. Good morning. Hello. I don't know what I did. Maybe they'll try it again, because I see it's red, but I can't get anything. Let's see. Let's try that again. Let's see if we'll do this. Nope. Here we go again. Good morning. Something is wrong with the phone. But anyway, they're there, but it's something not being touched in the right way that I can get them on the air. I see the red light is still there, and but it's not parked somewhere right. Let's
Is it
see.
on speaker?
Yes, it's on speaker.
Okay.
And now that person, let's going to try this again. Now, good morning. Well, hold on, caller. We're going to get this worked on. We're going to take a break here in a little bit. We're going to come back and make sure that's working, because I want people to be able to we're going to make sure that people have the opportunity to connect, because there's sometimes questions that we may have.
Absolutely.
that we got to give out how they can get in touch with you, so they can get that conversation going.
Absolutely.
And to make them to reach where you need to be, to find out what you're doing for you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love that. But the
Absolutely.
fact of it is, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is Miss Terri Marshall, and she is taking you to a level I think that we should do more often. I am so strongly, I believe that we've got to get over this fear, or this, stigma, that if you seek help, something is wrong with it, because if you need mental health. That does not mean that you're crazy. That means that you're smart as ever, that you need the help.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's just the
Yeah.
wording of it that people take that and go the wrong way. And but this is only a way, because I think I say it every day. When you talk about it, when you've got somebody that you can let your guard down and let it all go,
Absolutely.
that means something.
You know, I've been raised in the church my entire life, married to a pastor.
Right.
I've always been extremely involved in ministry, regardless of what church
Most certainly.
that I've been.
Certainly.
And in our culture, because of the things the things that we've always had to come upon us, our source has always been God.
Of course.
Our God has gotten us through so many different things. And a lot of our community, not all, we've stayed in such a survival state, because that's one thing, and we take pride in saying, if we don't know how to do anything else, we can survive.
Amen.
Because that's what we know.
That's right.
And even though that is true, and there's a lot of strength in survival, we now have to start making that transition from surviving to thriving.
Right.
Which means I don't have to stay in this hypervigilant state forever. I can start learning to calm down and enjoy life, and to enjoy where I am, with always the thought of what's going to happen next, or it's not going to always last.
I understand.
Staying in that survival mode.
Right.
And so it's one of those things that, you know, because we didn't trust the field, we would go to our pastors. Just go to your pastor, or just go to God for yourself. Just pray about it. Now, am I coming against any of that? Absolutely. All of that has its place, and all of that is beneficial. And even for me, I'm a faith-based therapist. So I find that it is so much easier for me to work with clients who has that faith, who's steeped in faith, because now it gives you that other source, someone that is larger than you, that can also help you through that process. So it's a humongous, a tremendous to have that source. But let me say this. this is the thing that we have to realize. And I actually had someone over the Thanksgiving holiday that I saw in Walmart, and they were sharing something with me, and they were like, yeah, well, I don't really need therapy because I go to God. And I said, well, let me just say this to you. What makes you think God is not therapy?
Come on now.
And I have a t-shirt that says God and therapy, because with me being a faith-based therapist, I tell everybody, I don't know what the session is going to look like because I allow the Holy Spirit to guide it.
Exactly.
I don't know. And the thing about it is, which is so amazing, is because the Bible says, I believe in Philippians 1:6, I'm going to finish the work that I've begun in you. God has already started this work within us.
That's right.
He's already started it. So by the time you get to therapist, I am a vessel that he's utilizing as a part of the work that he's doing.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of things that I've noticed that the Lord will be working on in therapy to help with something that he's already been working on. So it's not therapy aside from your faith.
Right.
It's therapy included with your faith.
Right. Do you think sometimes we find that that sometimes, and oh God, you know I trust you in everything, but we'll just like that person that you saw, oh, I'm praying.
Yeah.
But you don't see any results from you just praying, because God has that set up for you to go another route than just that, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm a strong believer. What I'm trying to get all of our viewers to understand is keep God in it. But God, why do you think He blessed her with the? Yeah, He blessed you with the talent so that He can help. It's just like with a doctor, the analogy you gave a little while ago.
Yeah.
If I have something wrong with my heart, I'm going to go see a heart doctor, okay?
Yeah.
But the fact of it is, we got to use what God has given us and yet trust Him that He is taking you to Terri.
I just had a client, and of course, confidentiality is huge, and I respect my field and I respect my clients so much that I would never divulge confidentiality. So I won't name anything specific, and definitely not anyone. But I will tell you this: I had someone who had, it was funny because I was in session, and I can't even remember what happened, but the Spirit just started to pray out loud.
Come on now.
And I started, and then when I finished, I said, I apologize. It just came out, you know, I'm sorry, you know. And the person said to me, before we go, I want to say this to you. I pray for my family. They said, I pray for my husband, I pray for my kids, I pray for my in-laws, I pray for my family. And the person said, but then I asked God, but Lord, whoever prays for me?
Oh.
I never have someone to pray for me. And so then the client said, you just answered my prayer.
Come on now with what you did.
Because you just prayed for me, and now I know that God does have someone.
Exactly.
That's not therapy over here and God over there.
That's right.
That's God and therapy.
Exactly.
So it's being that vessel that God is able, and like I said, whatever God is doing in your life, when you come to therapy, He's using therapy as another tool in order to manifest and to bring about whatever He's doing.
Most certainly.
So that warmed my heart, because I had no idea what she had been praying. I didn't know what she's doing in her secret closet, but God did.
That's right. That's why He put those two together. We got to go take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to work on the phones, because we do want to get your calls on the air. Stay with us right here on Sunshine's Corner. Okay, that person is still there.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car, because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more.
Sonia Bay's Botanicals is a local wellness boutique that specializes in infused fruit juices, medicinal herbal tea remedies, clean hair and body care, and herbal infused sea moss gels, which can be purchased 1 for $25 or 2 for $40. This sea moss contains 92 of the body's 102 essential minerals used to increase energy, relieve pain and inflammation, and improve blood pressure and more. From parasite cleanse to detox and weight loss to blood sugar control, Sonia Bay's Botanicals has a natural solution for you.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
And welcome back to this Thursday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We have Terri Marshall in with, I'm just going to call her Dr. Marshall, because I mean that she's got this all together. Listen, we're going to go to the phone now because somebody has been waiting. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, Sunshine. How you doing?
Wonderful.
I want to ask Miss Terri Marshall, in her counseling and therapy section, I want to know, does she provide her clients with the ACE score to complete before they start therapy? And if she will talk a little bit about the ACE score, the Adverse Childhood Experience score, so the listeners can understand what that means.
Absolutely. So the ACEs is basically a test that adults take in order to determine the basically childhood trauma. And absolutely, I do offer that test to my clients that come in, because it gives you a wealth of knowledge. The way that that test came about was it was a white doctor who was noticing that his clientele that was primarily Caucasians as well, they were having all of these same medical problems, the medical issues. And so as he started to go a little bit deeper and he started to discover that the thing that were causing a lot of these medical problems, it was because of the childhood trauma, all of the different experiences that they had gone through in childhood. And this is the thing about trauma. If trauma is not dealt with, trauma continues to just it reaps havoc in the body. So it can cause problems like even autoimmune diseases. There's a lot that trauma does internally to your body. And what it does is, because it's not resolved, it now starts to manifest through actual medical problems or medical issues within your body. And so and like I stated, this was with Caucasians.
Now that's where I want to go. Now you said, and they were all having the same issue?
Not necessarily the same issue, but they were having medical issues. And so he was trying to figure out like what were some of the commonalities that were causing, some of these problems. And so he discovered that the commonality was these childhood experiences that were playing a very heavily role in these. Yes, because they had gone through so much in childhood that had not been dealt with. And so because of that,
let me ask you this, and I'm saying that because when you brought up culture before, and with our culture versus their culture, do you see that with us, is there trauma from our childhood in a lot of us?
Absolutely.
What ways does it differ? It's what I'm trying to say, because with our culture that's different, the way we were raised. Let me go back to my mother. My mother slapped me down. I mean, you
absolutely, I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? And there was, when we're dealing with things like that, what I'm saying is there a way, the question I'm trying to ask with the differences in the way that we were reared, does that cause us to hold these things in because of how I was raised? I think that was right. Will that determine some things that will surface with me in my adult life?
We are a walking manifestation of our childhood. That's going to defies any culture. We are a walking manifestation of our childhood. So the things that we experience in our childhood are definitely, especially if they're unresolved, those things stay with us and they impact you know, there's a saying that says all trauma is relational. So they're going to impact the way that you see the world and how you see yourself. So even when you start getting into relationships, and when I say relationship, it could be with a romantic partner, it could be a relationship with your children, it could be a relationship with your family, your parents, your siblings, your aunts, your cousins, but it's also a relationship with your coworkers. You know, all of these things are being impacted by that. You know, and it's the way that we've perceived it. Think about it. A lot of times we don't trust. We're very skeptical. We don't trust people. Sometimes it might be our bluntness, which could also be borderline extremely rude, the way that we talk. But guess what? That's how our mamas talk to us. You had to have that thick skin.
That's me.
You got to have that thick skin, you know. And so, but all of that is still being, you're seeing the displaying in those behaviors. And the thing about it though is there are certain things that have been so normalized in our community that we don't recognize it as being a problem. But that's because it's so normalized. But it very much is.
Wow.
And because we're not healing from it, what we're doing is we're now creating a generation, continuously creating and continuing generational pass downs.
Taking it, go all the way through, all the way through. I forgot, but did that kind of answer your question there?
Oh, yes. This is Eric. But yes, I just wanted to let you know sometime that that's something that I pass out to our foster parents. It's something that we give in a quality parenting training course as well to foster parents. So you're going to have children that's coming in that experience some form of trauma. That's the reason why they get removed from their family and they come into the foster care system. And so I always take it out and say, this is something good for husband and wife to do when they're together. It's good for good girlfriends to come together and maybe, hey, pass this out. If you have a girlfriend that calls you and they have some issues and stuff going on, and ask them to, hey, answer these questions. And so they can see what type of trauma that they done build due to the score that they have that's accumulated on their score sheet.
Oh, really?
And so people can have the idea, okay, this is some areas where I need to work it. So I'm working at to heal this, because they're going to have children that they see in their home that's going to be acting out in a different way, and you need to kind of have an idea of why they're acting out this way.
And
so she did an excellent job in explaining how this came about and why it's prevalent in this type of field.
Absolutely. And so this is the thing, and to kind of summarize or to piggyback on what he's saying is, you will never, and he's speaking of kids that are in foster care, and I'm very much familiar with that because I was a foster parent recruiter for 13 years. But you'll never know what triggers things in you. So if you have if you have come from an abusive childhood, or if you've had some different things in your childhood that you've experienced but you have not yet healed from, now, whether it be being a foster parent or simply being a parent, when you start having children, you have to be very, being aware of what will that now trigger inside of you. And that's the thing about it. We don't understand that. When you start to having children, those children will trigger some things. They will trigger some trauma in you. It's good. It will start to bring up some, and this is the thing, we feel like, oh, I've dealt with it so long ago.
I think you have your phone. Hold on, Terry. I hear reverb. You got me. I think you need to turn something off. Okay. Now. Okay. And I think we got another call after this too.
But it does. It starts to trigger some things inside of you that's unresolved. People think because I've dealt with it 20, 30, 50 years ago, that was so long ago, I don't have to deal with it. One of the things that I always share with my client is, how often does the fruit look like the seed?
Come on now.
Well, guess what? Most times it does not. If you look at an orange seed, it's going to be that little beige piece of seed, but then look at the actual the maturity of the orange, it's round and it's orange. It does not look the same.
Not at
all. So what we don't understand is, just because it was 30 and 50 years ago, it doesn't mean your trauma has been resolved. It just means it's manifesting in a different way that you don't recognize as stemming from your trauma. But very much so, it's coming from that.
Right.
That's what we don't understand. It's still manifesting. We just don't associate it with the trauma. We just think it's something else.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need 2 hours today, don't we? But we got another call. But thank you, Eric, and you just give me that test, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much.
All right, bye now. We've got another call because this is what I think that if we learn to talk about, if you're not being educated today, you need to drink some more coffee because I'm learning some stuff today, okay? Good morning. Good morning. Okay.
I think I hear it.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Marshall.
Good morning.
You were talking about gratitude when you first came in. Sensible gratitude and sincere gratitude that you were speaking of is an answer to prayer.
Absolutely.
And real gratitude will change our attitude.
Absolutely.
Which elevates our altitude of thought. That's what I call it, altitude of thought. And it keeps us thinking about the Most High God and our mighty Savior. This is his time of the year. My grandfather used to always say 30 days before and after Christmas and Easter, pay attention to what God is trying to do to bring our knowledge to his Son. And when I was, Sonshine, you're talking about when we were young.
Right.
We didn't have therapy. We didn't have psychoanalyzation. We were just considered to be nuts, cuckoo, or crazy.
That's right. That's right.
But the old folks said we must seek the kingdom of God. So your kingdom will come on earth as it is in heaven, because his will be done on earth by us. And what we as a people are doing in his name, there's power, y'all, in just the name of Jesus.
Absolutely.
It's his birthday, and Jesus is our greatest gift. And if we receive him, we become believers. Believers will become receivers because they're in his will.
That's right.
It's complicated, but at the same time, he said it would be so simple and easy to understand that a child would not err. So we're in that season right now where we need to really tune in as a people, get back to what brought us where we are right now. The sexuality, the rap and the hip-hop music, the eyelashes and the fake this and the fake that, it's all going to be stripped away eventually. So if we readjust our minds and realize what Dr. Marshall said at first, she said it. She said, I prayed for these things. And these things came to me in my life and caused my gratitude to elevate my attitude and change my altitude of thought to keep me thinking about the Most High God.
Yes.
Sonshine, Dr. Marshall, supernatural blessings on you all during this season. And when you're doing this kind of work, just expect to receive the blessings that are coming according to what we're doing.
Amen.
Thank you.
God bless you both. I love you.
Thank you, and love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go take a break. If you'd like to be a part of this conversation, 850-432-7768. That's how you do it right here on Sonshine's Corner.
My name's Kelly McLeod. I'm the owner of Bella Magazine. Bella is a source of uplifting and inspiring content for the women of Pensacola.
I think the magazine is just so thoughtfully done. There's a lot of attention to detail. The stories are really good.
You've got seriousness, you've got fun, education, fashion. It just encompasses everything.
Women are multidimensional, and so is Bella.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Adventure, fun, and connections is all right here in your backyard with Pensacola Parks and Recreation. Bike the trails and feel the rush. Come to our senior program for ages 50 and older. Learn new skills and make new friends. Tee up at Osceola Golf Course and paddle into nature with Bayview Outdoor Pursuits. Pensacola Parks and Recreation. Discover more, play more, live more.
Well, I think it's all about local. and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
Wonderful. And welcome back to this Thursday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We're talking with Dr. Marshall today, and she's opening up some things that I think we should really take heed to. That if you have issues the things that you think you've covered up, they will reveal themselves in another form later until you deal with it.
Yes.
And this is what she does, and I tell you, you can see the knowledge that she has, the things that can help you. Never be afraid to seek the help that's needed. God places people in our lives. The doctors, he places them to help us.
Absolutely.
Different type doctor, but it's to help us. He has everything strategically planned so that we can use it, so we can make sure that while we're here. And what I love about you, initially when you said, okay, yes, I am a therapist, I am a trauma therapist, but you said, look, I seek God.
Absolutely.
And everything. And everything. And I gotta say this, guys, and when you spoke of the relationship with you and your family, I think that it's beautiful that you all are an example that people can see how God works.
Absolutely.
And I think that's beautiful. And I say that because if you have problems, ladies and gentlemen, I hate that we sometimes don't want to admit the things that are there. But always know that there's always help. But you've got to take the first step. She can't walk out on the street and say, hey, Tom, Dick or Harry, Sue, Sally, or Jane, look, seek the help that you need. And what a relief it's going to be when you do that. And I'm finding out just talking to and listening, I need help.
Yeah. You know what I find comfort. One of the things that I always say, a secret is no longer a secret once you share it.
That's right.
I don't care if you go to your best friend and say, hey, I really need to talk to you about something. Can I confide in you? Can I trust that you're gonna keep it secure? And that best friend possibly and definitely will say yes. But what if something happened and there was a rupture in that relationship? Can you be so sure
that they won't
that those secrets will remain a secret?
I know what you're talking about.
So I say again, secrets are no longer secrets, regardless of someone's agreement. Secrets are no longer a secret.
That's right.
Once they have been shared.
Absolutely.
The thing about therapy is this. Because of the fact of mandated with the state, if I want to keep my license and I have invested so much in this, this is my ministry. And being an agent of God first, and then also knowing that I have to be accountable to the state of Florida. Therapy is going to be one of those very, very, very few places that you know that whatever you share, it will stay right there.
Absolutely.
It's not going to, we make an oath and we have to follow the confidentiality rules, which means that everything that we discuss, it is going to be kept confidential.
Most certainly.
Now, there are a few,
I understand where you're going.
Conception, but we also make that very clear at your first session. What are those things that do not, that are not under confidentiality, like if you're threatening to harm yourself, someone else, or if you divulge, like elderly or child abuse. Those things are not covered, and we do have to report those things. So if you're saying to me that you're thinking about harming yourself, committing suicide, or anything like that, or if you're thinking about harming someone else, immediately those things have to be reported.
That's right.
But those things are also, we're also very clear. I always repeat it twice in my very first session because I want to make sure that they understand. Because again, I also understand that the therapeutic relationship is the most important part.
Certainly.
Because if you don't trust me or feel comfortable with me, that is already going to be a hindrance to your journey, your healing journey, because you're not going to be able to open up to talk to me about those most personal things, okay?
That's right.
But coming to therapy gives you that space. You know how sometimes when you're talking to your friends and they always make it about them? Every time I come to you, by the time the conversation is over,
it's about
where
you.
I came
That's
talking
right.
to you, but before it's over, now we talking about you again.
Exactly.
Therapy is about you.
Exactly.
Therapy is about you now having your own person.
Right.
That is your specific person.
Right.
That is there for you, that you're able to talk about any and everything. Another thing that is a benefit of therapy is because even when you go to friends, you're getting opinions. You're getting more like, well, if it were me, this is what I would do. Therapy is not about advice. And I have some people to say, well, I wanna do what you do because I'm always, you know, my friends say I'm good at giving advice. Therapy is not about advice, okay?
Exactly.
You might need to go get you a Dear Abby column. That's not what it is. Therapy is about helping people, teaching them how to process, and then teaching people how do you come up with your own resolutions.
Most certainly.
It's about getting you to learn how to problem solve and allowing you and showing you how to go through that process in order for you to gain that self-insight.
Of course.
It's not about just giving you instructions.
That's right.
It's about that deep internal work.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so people will give you advice, but their advice is going to be based off of what they would do or would not do or what just sounds good.
Exactly.
That is not what we do in here. It is about, and also therapy is about having an array of tools that the person that you're talking to, that's a friend, they don't have these tools as well.
Certainly. We're down to the last minute.
Yes.
Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
I'm on Facebook, but you can call me at 850-554-4942. The name of my business is Framework Therapy and Consulting. I'm off Now Mile Road. So you can give me a call, or you can go on Framework Therapy on Facebook or Instagram, or email me at terri@frameworktherapy.net.
And if you missed that, you call me and I'll put you in touch with her. I guarantee you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great day, and I tell you, Terri, it went by so fast.
It did.
But we've got to get out of here. I got to leave you as I do every day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember to keep God first in whatever you do. Handle it like that, and I guarantee you'll be a total success. So tomorrow, Commissioner Lewin May, he's going to be the Grand Marshal. Going to talk about that tomorrow, right here on Sunshine's Corner. Bye for now.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.